Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Kareem Kanston, the encourager, saying hello and good day to you all. Listen, my name is Kareem Kanston. I am the about being encouraged in any situation. Being encouraged in any situation. My name is Kareem Kanston, and I'm here to encourage you, to inspire you, and motivate you in any situation. And so I started a series all about being encouraged. We've been talking about topics as mission, purpose, life, marriage. And every time I post a message, I cover a topic and give you 3 points about being encouraged about that topic. And so my name is Kareem Kanston. I am the encourager, and I'm here to encourage you to move towards your destiny. I am here to encourage you to move towards your destiny. Listen, I want to thank you all very much for just even watching this. Put some information in the inbox to me about topics that you want to hear. But listen, I just been sharing and just giving information to encourage people in any situation. And I don't know about you, but I need to encourage myself on a daily basis. We all face things and problems and issues and trials, but that doesn't mean that the trials and the issues should be living in our life continuously. Sometimes we have to say, listen, enough is enough, and we are going to start moving towards a different way in our life. And so I am here to encourage you about any situation. And so we've been talking about many topics about mission, about purpose. We also covered things like debt and marriage. And so my last post was about being encouraged in failure, being encouraged in failure. And so as I said before, I labored over this topic. It was something dear to me in reference to really thinking about some fears that I went through. I really had to acknowledge what I went through. And so I wanted to share and encourage people that even though that you failed in the area, it doesn't mean that it's over. All right. Even though that you might have messed up, your credit, you might have lost a house, or you might have not finished schooling, or you might have messed up in a certain situation. That doesn't mean that it should take over your life. All right. And so points from the post number one, because we're going to do part two of failure today. And so part one, the 3 points was that you need to acknowledge your failure. You need to acknowledge your failure. And so many times we don't want to acknowledge that we have failed in the area. And that is we're deceiving ourselves. You need to understand where you failed so you can move forward from that failure. All right. And so point number one from part one was acknowledge your failure. All right. And I told people that you might just need to write it down, and put your name failed in this area. All right. And you might just want to do that right now. Point number two was don't give up. Yes, your failure might be right in front of your face. Yes, your failure might be, written on a piece of paper and you could see it. You can't run away from it. But that doesn't mean that you should give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Failure, as I said before in part one, a college president said failure is something that he wants his students to go through. And if they haven't failed, then really they probably haven't learned anything from being on this college campus. And so it was interesting to hear someone say that, and really be authentic about, listen, you need to fail. You know what? It's bound to happen. And what must be due to encourage us yourself and keep moving again. So point number 2, don't give up. Listen, I'm telling you right now, don't give up. The situation that you're facing right now, else had to face it also. All right. The situation that you're facing right now, someone else had to face that situation also. So that doesn't mean that you're the only person. Sometimes we say, we're the only person going through this. I'm the only person that's getting called from, a debt collector. I'm the only one that lost my house. Let me tell you, when the past recession happened, when all those mortgages went bad, a lot of people lost their house. All right. And so there is people that can help you out of that situation. All right. So point number 2, once again, don't give up. I'm telling you, don't give up. Point number 3 for part 1 was that you should need to learn from your failure. You should be learning from your failure. All right. Yes, you missed the mark. Yes, you didn't get something right. Yes, you messed up something on time or in the past, but you should learn from that. All right. I need to think differently, and I need to change my surroundings. I need to change my friends, right? I need to change my environment. And so you need to really learn from your failures. So that was number 1. Part number 1 was all about you got to acknowledge your failure, don't give up on yourself, and learn. I also talked about a little bit about my story about I failed in certain places over the years, but I didn't give up on myself. All right. I encouraged myself to keep moving on. I had to acknowledge what I failed at and then move on from it. Right. How many times you see people walking around and, their head is down and you say, what's going on? Oh, man, my life is all messed up. I can't get it together. Really? You just need to move on. What you need to do. So, we're going to do part 2 of failure tonight. All right. We're going to do part 2 of failure tonight. And so how we're going to start off with part 2 is by me telling you a story about myself. All right. I covered this topic before about being encouraged while you're in debt. And so I'm going to tell you a story about myself. Many years ago, I was faced with being close to $1 million in debt. What? Yes, I was faced with being close to $1 million in debt. And you're probably saying, listen, there's people I know that don't even make $1 million. There's some people that that make $1 million. So listen, I like to invest. I like to take chances. I like to try things. And so I faced an issue where my debt was now talking back to me in investments, in real estate. I had a couple of properties. And so there was one time that every single tenant, January, right after Christmas, decided not to pay their rent. And so I was like, what's going on here? And so I had to face that failure, right? I had some properties that, that weren't performing. All right. And so cash flow was tight. And so I didn't get those properties. I got those properties for myself. I didn't get those properties to take that money and then give and invest and to actually give and tithe off of that money. So listen, when I faced that debt, I didn't know what to do, right? I didn't know who to turn to, who to talk to, what was I facing. But listen, I had to do point number 1 from part 1 was I had to acknowledge my failure. I had to acknowledge that, listen, I decided to get into debt in these investment properties. I decided to sign that mortgage, right? No one forced me to do it. I wanted to invest and I wanted to get property and I wanted to make money, right? And so when the market started to turn, right, people started to lose their jobs. And so people really couldn't pay what I was asking for rent. And so I had to acknowledge my failure, all right? And also, what I also had to do about debt is that I had to not give up. I had to say, listen, something is gonna turn around in this situation, right? Something's gonna turn around in this situation. And so let me let me let you in on something. Listen, there's a great Proverbs 7 from the number one selling book, the Bible, and it says the borrower shall not be servant to the lender. The borrower shall not be servant to the lender. And so when we sign our signature, when we agree to take on debt, we are now being servant to the people that we got money from, and now we're gonna agree to pay them back. And so listen, if something happens with that debt, as many people know, is that people start calling, right? Saying, listen, when are you gonna pay this bill? Why haven't you paid it on time? All right. And so you must make a decision at that point in time. And so I want to give you some encouragement about how do you get through failure. All right. How do you get through something that is being a lot of pressure on you and you don't know what to do? All right. And so that's my story. I would like to let you know that since being close to $1 million in debt, I'm about down to 1/3 of that now. Thank God. Let me tell you, because it was no joke having to deal with. Let me tell you something. I got under that debt by being faithful and doing the right thing and acknowledging the failure, but also making sure that I can move and sell these properties. And in a down economy, I sold the properties and didn't lose any money from them. So that's a good story. So I want to encourage you today. Listen, no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through, that you make it. All right. And so I'm going to share 3 points. And also at the end, I'm going to invite you for a free gift and also a discount for a free book also. So point number 1 from part 2 of being encouraged in failure is that you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to say to yourself, I forgive you for that failure. All right. I forgive you for messing up in that area. All right. You might just want to say it right now. I, in your name, forgive myself for that failure. Because until you forgive yourself, you're still going to be holding on to that burden. All right. So you need to forgive yourself. You need to say, hey, listen, yes, it didn't work out. Yes, it was messed up. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, I didn't do the right thing. But you know what? I forgive myself. Right now, right in this place, I forgive myself for that failure. All right? And so you need to tell yourself, I forgive myself for that failure. Right? You need to be the move on and really, I'm really here to encourage people. What is your mission? What is your plan in life? And what should you be pressing towards every single day? And that's the reason why I'm doing this series about it, being encouraged in any situation. And so listen, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts. Let me know what you think. Put some comments in there. And at the end, I'm going to share some free information for you. And hopefully it would encourage you and bless your life. So point number 1 is that you need to forgive yourself. Point number 2 is that you need to focus on the future and not the past. Focus on the future and not your past. Focus on your future and not your past. So many look back at the past. I screwed up in this area. I messed up in this area. I didn't finish school. I didn't do the right thing in this friendship. I didn't do this right thing in this marriage. I didn't do this right thing in my business, when I had my business or that last business. I didn't do the right thing when I represented certain people in the public. And I failed. And yes, we need to acknowledge that, and you need to look at the past, but don't dwell on it. I know people right now that they've gone through some issues 20 years ago, and they still dwell on that issue like it's 20 years ago. Actually, it's 2017. There was a lady named Christine Kane, and I've been listening to her CDs, and she talks about, listen, getting past your past. Get past your past. Yes, something happened to you when you was 10 years old. Yeah, when you was 15 or 20 or 30 or 40, or maybe even yesterday. But get past the past and move forward past that failure, because you're just holding yourself back. That's all you're doing. And so we have to acknowledge that and say, listen, my past is my past, but my future is greater than my past. I don't know about you, but listen, I'm looking towards a new future. I'm looking towards tomorrow. I'm looking towards a new day, a new month, a new year. All right. And so I have things that I need to do. And so you should have things that you should be working on. And so you have to move past your past. Yes, your past might be messed up. That doesn't mean that your past, you should be living in the past like it's your future. All right. So move past your past. Thanks for those hearts, Sterling. Also, listen. So point number 2 is focus on the future, not your past. Point number 1 was to forgive yourself. And point number 3 is all about freeing yourself. You must free yourself. Free your mind, right? Free your soul. Free yourself from that past failure. And you're probably saying, how do you free yourself? Listen, when I was going through facing $1 million in investment debt with real estate, I had to free myself from that debt so I could move past that failure, right? So freeing myself, I had to forgive myself. I had to repent to God, and then I had to do some action. See, one of the things that I see that happens with people is that they acknowledge something, but they don't move into action. All right? They don't move into action. They continue to say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna work this thing out, or I'm gonna change the way I think, and I'm gonna change that issue about myself." But really, they locked in. So they're locked in, and they continue to do what they have to do. So you have to free yourself, move past your past, and free yourself. Right? And sometimes you just need to acknowledge and say, "Listen, I need to be free today." You know what? Sometimes I wake up and I say, "Listen, I just need to be free. I need to be released from that thing. I need to move forward because my past will hold me down." I don't know if you've seen, like, when people put weights on a rope and you pulling a rope and the rope is behind you and they keep on putting more weight. Guess what? It's going to be pulling you back. And so you need to stop pulling yourself back and move towards your future. All right? It is very, very important to move towards your destiny. Just like in part 1 of failure, in part 2, I'm going to share some quotes here from some notable people. And listen, it's great how they express what they thought about failure. Not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with failure. Abraham Lincoln said, "My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with failure." H. Stanley Judd said, "Don't be afraid to fail. Don't waste energy trying to cover up your failure. Learn from your failures and go on to the next challenge. It's okay to fail. If you're not failing, you're not growing." Oh, wow, that's impactful. If you're not failing, you're not growing. That's what H. Stanley Judd said. If you're not failing, in part 1 of failure, I talked about Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he said, listen, if you haven't failed at least 10 times at something, you really haven't mastered anything. And so you might say, listen, I missed it 1 time, I missed it 2 times, I missed it 3 times, I missed it 4 times. And so have you really learned from that thing? You might have not learned from it. And so you need to move past your failure. All right. Zig Ziglar says, remember that failure is an event, not a person. Failure is an event, not a person. So wherever you are, you might have failed. You're a person, but you're not that failure. The failure is an event. You're not that person. All right. That's what Zig Ziglar says. Oprah Winfrey says, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failing is another stepping stone to greatness. Failing is another stepping stone to greatness. That's what Oprah Winfrey said. All right. And then I want to repeat this again. Zig Ziglar says, remember that failure is an event. Listen, you are a human being. And one of my missions and my goal in life is to help human beings develop themselves to reach their potential and to reach their destiny. And so you are a person. You're not failure. All right? You're a person. You're not failure. And so you need to lock on to this thing and say, listen, I need to be free from failure, right? I need to focus on my future, and I need to forgive myself. I don't know about you, but nobody's running up to people every single day saying, I forgive you. You don't hear people say when you see them, when you greet them, they say, hey, how you doing? They're not saying, listen, I forgive you. Right? So you need to say, I forgive myself for that failure. I forgive myself for that failure. I know you probably don't want to say it, but you just need to do it, right? You need to say to yourself that I forgive myself for failing in that area. Once you do that, you shall be free to start working towards your actions. So don't forget about the actions. You have to take actions after you acknowledge that you failed. All right? Just don't leave that failure alone. Yes, I know many times that we want to, there's people, a couple of months ago, I went and checked up on a lady. I haven't seen her in a while, and I thought something was wrong with her, and she shut herself out. She closed the door. She pulled the curtains. I even had to call 911 and say, listen, can you please check up on this lady? And when I talked with her, she said, listen, I am depressed. I don't want to I don't want to come out of my house because, I went through this thing or I failed in this area. You know what? And I tell her, so listen, I'm here to check up on you. I'm here to encourage you to say, listen, everything's going to be all right. Yes, this thing might be messed up right now. Yes, it might be hard. Yes, it might be a crisis situation, but I'm here. And listen, anytime you need something, anytime you want to talk to somebody, give me a call. All right. And so listen, you got to move from your failure. So part 2 of being encouraged during your failure, the points were forgive yourself, focus on the future, not the past, and free yourself. And so listen, everyone that's watching this video live, anyone that's watching this video after the live event of this video, listen, we have a free opportunity for you called Encourage Yourself in the Lord by my mother-in-law, Karriem Pierce, and she wrote it. I said, listen, can I please go away to people that are going to be involved in my series? So listen, there's a link that is in the post. If you click on that link, you fill out that short form, you will be able to download this free book, Encourage Yourself in the Lord. Also, when you fill out the link, you will get a discount for my book, Walk Through the Doors That God Has Opened for You. It's a 365-day daily devotional that my wife and I wrote. And so listen, we want to help people. Listen, this is not about Karriem. It's really about the impact and help people move towards their destiny. It's really to encourage folks. Listen, I don't know about you, but you can probably look at your life. You can look at the last week or a couple of days of current day and say, you know what? I missed the mark. I didn't do this right. I didn't take care of my children correctly, right? I didn't take care of my job correctly. I didn't take care of my business correctly. Or I said something to somebody and it hurt them, right? And so we failed in the area. But don't let that define your life. Don't let your failure define your life, all right? Move past that thing. Say, listen, I passed my failure. And so listen, I would just want to thank you all for watching. Listen, see topics that you want me to talk about. Send me anybody's looking my group putting out about encouraging folks and getting linked up and saying, listen, really, people need encouragement today. I don't know about you, but if you turn on the news, it's really like doom and gloom. There's really not a lot of stuff on the news, all right? Stuff on the news, not talking about, encourage your neighbor. Come on. When was the last time you heard that on the news? Go and knock on your neighbor's door and say hello, or how about you shovel your neighbor's snow, all right? Or how about you just go say hello to the neighbor? I was talking to somebody the other day, and he texted me and said, listen, my wife beat me up because I went and said hello to the neighbors, and I don't think you should say hello to them. I'm like, what? You should be everyone you could talk to, all right? And so listen, failure part 2 was all about encouraging you and giving you 3 points. So point 1, restated, is that about that failure. You forgive yourself. Point 2 was that you need to focus on the future and not your past. Your past is already gone. You can't get back yesterday. You can't get back last year. 2016 is over. 2017 is here, right? And so you need to get over your past. And point number 3 is that you need to free yourself. You need to free yourself from that failure. All right? You need to free yourself from that failure. Once again, we're given a free book called Encourage Yourself in the Lord by my mother-in-law, Karriem Pierce. Thanks for the thumbs up, Stuart. All right. A free book called Encourage Yourself in the Lord by Karriem Pierce. So if there's a link in this post, I also will put it in the comment section that once you fill out that short form, you'll be able to download this book. And also you get a discount for my book that my wife and I wrote called Walk Through the Doors That God Has Opened for You. Listen, I don't know about you, but we have to move past our failure. I just keep on saying it. Yes, it might be staring you in the face. Yes, your failure of yesterday might be staring you in the face today, but that doesn't mean that you give up on yourself. I'm here to tell you, don't give up. Keep on moving forward. I remember a couple months ago hearing somebody speak, and they say, listen, if there was no obstacle in front of you, what would you do? If there was no obstacle in front of you, what would you do? What are the dreams that you put on the past or you put on the back burner and you haven't put them into play because you feel that you can't do it anymore? All right? Did you say it's not worth it? But listen, I'm gonna tell you, it is worth it. You might as well try instead of saying, you know what, I'm not gonna do it because it's never gonna happen. That's just wrong talk. So listen, you need to move past your failure. Listen, for all those that are watching this video, please inbox me. Let me know topics that you want me to talk about. Encourage yourself in any situation. I think I might do maybe I might do a part 3 about being encouraged in failure, because I know many people are facing things, and sometimes we don't want to even talk to people, right? And so failure, if you learn from it, it's going to help you out. But if you haven't learned anything from it, then really you're going to be stuck in the past. Thanks for watching. This is Karriem Kanston, the Encourager. I'm here to motivate you and inspire you to move towards your destiny. We'll be talking soon. Send me in the inbox. All right. Be blessed.